Oh yes, okay, well, continuing with the physical wins theme, physical main character gets picked here from all characters.
Yo, what's up? We just took part in a $2,500 Star Rail PvP tournament. Make sure to check out the original video, which includes everyone's runs and the final result, as well as each individual creator. They're all incredible. Timaeuss organized the entire event, Volkin and Grimro casted it, my teammate and I, Doggos, competed against Guoba and MrPokke. Let's jump straight into the ban and pick section so you can hear my thoughts. Right off the rip, you can see Silverwolf gets banned. So that is really unfortunate because Doggos and I had planned to use a Qingqie. Part of the strategy there was picking Silverwolf first so we get that guaranteed quantum implant. We do respawn with an Imbiber Lunae ban, which actually turned out to be a pointless pick. We didn't know they both had E2 Imbiber Lunaes, which would completely screw up their cycle bonuses at the end. Oh man, Guoba was so happy about that. I was just, oh. They picked Bronya first, pretty standard, and we respawned with Tingyun and Pela. We were keeping our options open because I was 100% planning on doing a hypercarry Pela first half. And Tingyun is just one of the best generic supports in the game right now. So as long as we have a solid core, the DPS selection is big enough that we'll be able to come up with something. They pick Yukong. We opt to ban Blade just in case they want to use the Blade Bronya combo on the second half. It's really strong, so we didn't want to allow that. They ban Asta, which disables access to the final Harmony unit, making team building a little harder. And we take Clara. Clara's a great option for the first half, and we'd already planned to fit her in since physical is so strong there. I didn't realize at the time that Guoba also wanted to take Clara, but they counter by taking my beloved Qingqie. Well, looks like it's an eye for an eye. They also pick up Kafka, which is definitely a solid pick for either side of this Memory of Chaos. Now, we had a game plan going into this, but it pretty much went down the drain, so at this point, not gonna lie, we're kind of just balling. I'll take full responsibility for the Dan Heng idea, but Jingyuan's great for either half, so it's definitely a good snag. They take Luocha and Sampo, so we kind of see where they're going with their comps. And we round out our first team with a physical Trailblazer pick. If you've watched my videos, you'd know that I'm a pretty big fan of him and I love using him wherever I can, so I'm hoping to do him justice in this tournament. Of course, both teams can pick Fushuan and Lynx, so we get our Fushuan. MrPokke and Guoba take a Herda, and they also get their Fushuan. We finish it off with the Lynx to pair with our Clara. Now that all the picks are set, let's get on with the show. We're hoping for Clara to take the first hit here, but unfortunately she targets Pela. We got our trusty hit counter here, so we can kind of keep track of what happens. So unfortunately my strategy here has already kind of broken down. I really wanted Clara to get hit twice initially, because after these fishies attack and she counters, she'd actually have enough energy to ult. Ulting first is really important for her energy because she won't need to use a skill into ult. She can just ult into skill and then recover 30 energy after that. And this way, she can actually start the second wave with an ult. Unfortunately, this doesn't happen, and I'll show you an example of a successful run. You can see here that after Clara gets hit twice, she's almost at full energy. We'll also be able to ult on Pela after getting hit by the fishies. Note that I'd ideally want to break that dude with physical MC as you saw. So not only will he get a stack of damage bonus on his light cone, S5 Eon, but also a stack of his talent's attack percent bonus. So after this fish attacks and the counter attack, Clara's at full energy. This is the ideal situation. We can now Pela ult into a Clara ult and then skill. You can see that my entire strategy banked on Clara getting hit twice initially, and the rest of the rotation doesn't line up smoothly unless that happens. Of course, that's completely on me for relying on RNG, but yeah. My heart sank when I saw Pela get targeted first. And once the guy falls to the bleed, physical MC gets another stack on his talent. Okay, wake up to reality. We're back in the tournament run, though showing that plan scenario will actually make some of what you see and my decision making a lot easier to explain. So normally, Fizz MC would have a couple stacks of his talent and light cone by now. The adjacent would have also fallen to his bleed instead of being frozen. He'd be able to finish off the Ascendant with a single target ult for a 0 cycle since it's also got its defense shredded, but I wasn't confident since he didn't have any of the buffs, and the guy's still alive, so I went for the blast. Doesn't crit on the Ascended, but that's okay. We'll settle for the 0 cycle. Now I'm just thinking about whether I should pull energy or just conserve skill points. Another detail here is Clara's probably going to have to shoot out her second enhanced counter. Normally when FizzMC takes out the Ascended, we save that enhanced counter, and that's actually huge because we get to ult right away at the start of the next wave, so we get 3 enhanced counters in a row. And if you didn't know, the Ascended has 2 attacks and then the Silvermane Lieutenant has 1, so you get 3 full enhanced counters to start. So we didn't set ourselves up as expected, but it still should be fine. She gets targeted again. The Ascended attacks. Yeah, we would have full energy here. Unfortunately, we didn't get to shoot out a single enhanced counter. We probably could have taken out the Trotter as well with one of those, and that's usually very huge for this fight. Still though, 1 cycle on the first wave is pretty good. The reason we want to take out the Trotter with the enhanced counter is because when the Silvermane Lieutenant summons his 2 minions, they hit the maximum number of enemies on the battlefield of 5. So another Trotter doesn't get summoned, and this is kind of just cheesing the Trotter mechanic. You could have another Trotter up and then he only summons one of his guys, but that's okay. That's extreme min-maxing. But anyways, it's worth explaining because now you're going to see the Trotter does not fall, and when the Silvermane gets unbroken, he summons 2 of his guys. The next cycle begins, we don't get another Trotter, so we lose out on a lot of damage. Also, physical Trailblazer is super low now. We gotta think about who to attack, and of course the Trotter is the best target here. We don't want to attack the Lieutenant, otherwise we get hit. If you've noticed, I pretty much built everyone on this team as a DPS aside from Lynx. It's kind of just like a triple DPS comp where everyone does some damage. After Lynx's ult, we actually have enough health where we can kind of safely attack all these targets at once. But again, we don't score a single crit. Now, we only get to ult twice per battle here, and 0 for 2 is really painful. It's so much damage loss, and FizzMC, he can normally shine in these fights, and in my practices, he does. This tournament run, unfortunately, he didn't get done justice, but that's okay. You can see how close we are to the 2 cycle, even in the scuffed run, but yeah, I'm still pretty happy with the result. It's still a good showing for Clara at least. And Lynx's combo, look at that, 1 Lynx, 7 Clara, 1 MC, 1 Pela. Gonna be 8 Clara now. Lynx makes Clara so much more consistent, and that is it. 3 cycles. We're gonna go straight to the builds, so pretty much your standard DPS builds. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the run. I had a lot of fun, honestly, like that's the main thing. But the only thing I'm kind of sad about, and I guess you can tell, but just by how I'm saying it, I probably made FizzMC look a lot weaker than he actually is. And that's just because he didn't crit, right? Normally he'd do really well. Normally he'd crit. Normally he'd do like 30k on his blast, 60 plus k on a single target. But this time, people are going to see this and they're going to go, oh yeah, this is why you don't pick physical MC. Now I feel bad because he's one of my favorite characters to play, even if, you know, let's be real, he's not very strong in comparison to the other characters. You can still make him work for sure, and that's what I hope to do. Unfortunately, that's not the case this time, and I've said enough. I'll leave it at that. Let me know what you think. Be sure to check out the other creators. Links for everything will be in the description. Also, leave a pinned comment to the original video, so definitely check that out. Also, come on. We had a banger team name. The Harlem Warp Trotters? Dude, I'm definitely going to keep that going forward, I think. But yeah, that is the tournament. I do have some closing thoughts and discussion I wanted to touch on, so I'll leave a few snippets of the other guys' runs here. Big thanks again to everyone, Timaeuss for organizing the entire event, Volkin, Grimro casting, my teammate Doggo and I. We had a great time coming up with the strategies, actually executing the runs, the draft, Pokke and Guoba. We had some good banter back and forth, all in good fun. I think we succeeded with one of our main objectives of the tournament, which was to give some of the less used characters the spotlight. Again, don't get me wrong, all of us try to win, of course, but it's not like we're sweating our balls off, min-maxing, going for the perfect clears, team comps, relics. That's not the point of it. We still want to maintain a level of competitiveness, and I think we did achieve that given the units we used. But yeah, for any of you wondering, wow, why would they pick Kurta? Regular Dan Hung? Physical Trailblazer? Why not? We had kind of a gentleman's agreement to do this, and I'm at least speaking for myself when I say that it's a lot more enjoyable to not go full meta and try hard, even if it's a tournament. At the end of the day, it's just a game and we're all trying to have fun. It's also really hard to balance tournaments like this because everyone's account is at a different stage, has different investment, different units, different access. Like not everyone has every unit built. Pridewind's draft system actually does a pretty good job at balancing this. All the, I guess they call it whale points, definitely encourages players to try different combinations, different units, and that's where all these picks come from too. So I thought it was a lot more fun than, you know, just going straight up with the top DPSs, the top supports only, Silver Wolf Bronya, and then getting 0 cycles, but what's the fun in watching that, right? Just keep in mind that this is just my opinion, just what I think. As with every system, there are flaws. Like, we won't say the Pridewind system, there aren't workarounds. Like, of course, you saw me using Planetary Rendezvous on Lynx just so I don't have to use a 5-star Bailu cone. But overall, I think they did a really good job with balancing, and there's just so many factors that they can't control, like relic quality. How are you even going to measure that, right? So I think there's a lot of hope for PvP in the future. Huge kudos to Pridewind, like from their implementation, their ideas. I think everything has been, like, they really solidified their vision, and I do think that we are moving in the right direction for this. But let me know what your thoughts are. As always, we are pretty much done here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I will see you next time.